Dan King. This is my 2010 Camaro SS. I've been driving this car since 2022. This is sort of a new chassis to me. I didn't do a lot of work to this thing, but I definitely put a brand new set of ISC coilovers in this. I got it on a blue 808 angle kit. I just started driving it. These things are actually pretty amazing. Makes lots of horsepower right out of the box. Stock LS3. This is basically a street car. It's a little banged up because I drive this thing, like for real drive it. So mostly it's one of those things that I sort of like, I've always wanted a Camaro. I watched, everybody's seen Transformers. I watched Transformers in 2007, I think that came out, and I was like real hot to have one of these. It was the first viewing of the 5th gen, and I went, oh man, I gotta have that. But you know, they're real expensive at the time, so I bided my time and waited, and got out of my Lexus and got my wife driving that car, and the deal was Dad gets a car with more horsepower, so this was my car of choice. And I've wanted one for so long, so we made it work. We got a set of Texas Speed long tube headers in here. It's cat deleted. It's full straight pipe exhaust. I do have mufflers. They're basically resonators, but it's a little barky, but it's not too bad. It's under the decibel limit most places I drive it. Rotofab intake. Both of those things, the exhaust and this intake, were things that the gentleman that owned this car before me. He had done both of those, so it was kind of already done, and really I just had to throw a suspension under this car and seats and, you know, make it a thing. But bought some OMP seats. Still has a dinger. Stop. I bought some OMP seats. I got a pair of them because I really wanted this car to look really nice and like clean. That's my Sickie brake, and I did the NRG setup. I just got a Brom harness bar in here that hooks my harnesses to it, and bridge motor harnesses. I bought some decent stuff, so I wanted everything to be like up to date, and yeah, that's basically it. I mean, this thing should have a cage in it at some point. It's a thing that I haven't really wanted to do because I do street drive it. At some point I'll have to cage it because there's places I want to drive that if I want to drive with my friends, you need a cage. So when we go there, it'll be time to pull it apart, but I'm really like being selective in who builds my cage because I want to make sure I retain as much factory interior as possible, and that's a pain in the ass, and you know, it's costly. Factory Brembo brakes all the way around, so it's got the big brake kit in it, of course, and I'm missing some parts and pieces. And you walk around, you can see the tips of my exhaust. I'm missing one. All of that happened at the same time. I smashed the ass end of this into the wall at the lot at Nedco. Lost the tip and did some damage, but it really hasn't affected how it drives, and I never did bother to put another tip on it. I just kept going. More tire marks. Drift New England. We got Drift New England on here. That's going to be a big deal at some point for the state of New Hampshire for sure. Tom Poplinski building that, and we try to rep for him as much as possible. I'm running some 651s on the front of this as far as tires are concerned. They make great grip, and I run all the same size tires all the way around in this car. It's 265 up front and 265 in the back. For the most part, I just run PHIs to burn or Cosmo Mucho Machos. They're cheap tires. Yeah. You know? We can show you the underneath here whenever you're ready.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get it on the lift.
ISC coilovers in here. These have 10 spring rate in the front. I think I run it right in the middle as far as the dampening is concerned, but you know, looking at the rest of this thing, it's got a billet knuckle. This is all blue 808. Comes, you know, it's a solid block of aluminum machined right down, and it's a lot beefier than the factory knuckles are in these things. And it's got chromoly lower control arms, all redesigned front suspension to make these things do what they do. If you see a few spots in here where the tire rubs, and I've smashed that back so we don't pop the fronts, but missing some inner fender liner, just sucked in some cones and things, ripped it all apart. But that's basically it for the stuff right here in the front of this thing. I don't know if it's locked up, but if I pull it to lock, you can get a good view of the back of this knuckle, and it retains all the factory ABS. None of this is actually plugged in, but I put it back there. And I check these once in a while so they don't loosen up, but really, for the most part, this thing has been awesome. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the 2010 223 Drift Camaro. Thanks to the guys at ISC for having us come down and check it out. Appreciate you guys definitely helping me out and keeping us running around the track out here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.